have ya. All right, well, I think we may as well get started. So if you happen to have 2 blocks, that'd be really, really cool. If not, no bother at all. We'll do the exercise without it. But we're going to start in hero pose today. So we can go ahead and get on our knees and sit back into our heels. Hey, Cordelia, I was just mentioning, if you have a couple blocks, go ahead and grab the blocks. If not, don't worry about it. I'll let you know how to do it. But we're in our hero pose. If you like, if you maybe feel like you're gonna get pins and needles on your shins, you can go ahead and place a block underneath your hips so that you can kind of sit up on the block. Otherwise, of course, if you've got your cushion or your blanket, you can kind of get yourself nice and comfy. But we're going to do our Brahma Mudra, which is when we take the right hand on top of the left hand, and we just allow our thumbs to barely touch, and we place them on our lap. And we just want to start to close our eyes and see if you're able to maybe squeeze the shoulders a little bit backwards as you push your heart a little bit forward, and lean your heart a little bit back so that it's aligned with your hips. So you kind of want your core to engage just a little bit. And from here, we just kind of soften around our strong spine. So feel rooted into your mat, but feel yourself lengthen through your spine, and the rest of your body softens around it. You're just starting to draw your awareness inside so that nothing else exists except your breath flowing through your body and your unique mind witnessing it. See if you're able to inhale and exhale out of your nostrils. And see also if you can start your pranayama practice, your breath control practice, by seeing how slowly you're able to inhale through your nose and exhale out your nose. Imagine that you were able to only let one molecule of air in at a time. That's how soft your breath is. Like your little nose hairs wouldn't even know that you were breathing. Still allow your belly to rise on your inhale, and let your belly button drift back to your spine on your exhale, but it's just super soft and super slow and really, really controlled. And when you're ready, after a couple more breaths, you can return your breath back to any natural, effortless breath that comes naturally to you. And just take a last moment to really connect with your inner world. Find that union that exists between your mind, your breath and your body. And when you find that union, see if you can really connect and sync it up and keep it for our whole class. So just take a last moment here. And then when you're ready, you can start to expand your awareness, maybe deepening your breath just a little bit more. And start to maybe wiggle your toes and slowly start to release your mudra, wiggling your fingers. And then maybe even tucking the chin and rolling your neck from side to side, just kind of waking up your neck nice and gently. And then we'll go ahead and tuck the chin, bring our palms to our heart in the Anjali Mudra, gently opening your eyes. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, lifting your gaze up towards the sky, lifting your arms up towards the sky, reaching as tall as you can. Big inhale into the belly and exhale, hands down. Perfect, we'll do that one more time. Inhaling, lengthening up. Now see if you can interlace your fingers and then flip your palms up to face the sky. So you're pushing your palms up towards the sky. And at the same time, see if you can push your biceps further away from your ears, back, back, back. So push your ceiling away and push your biceps away as well. Maybe we lift the gaze up and get our spine into that cow posture, pulling the shoulder blades down as you push your palms up. And then we'll exhale, start to round the spine, bringing your palms forward, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone, and now push the front of the room away, arching your spine. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift everything up, gaze up, push those biceps back, push the ceiling away, but pull your shoulder blades down your back. Big inhale, belly expands, and exhale, round the spine, push the front of the room away. Perfect. Now we'll slowly come to neutral here, and let's keep our big toes touching as we widen our knees nice and wide. And here we'll just float the left hand down and reach with the right hand. So we're just allowing the right side of the body to expand nicely. And then on the exhale, let's roll ourselves forward, tucking the chin, and roll over to the other side. Left hand pulls out. Perfect. One last time on each side. Roll the spine forward through center and over to the other side, reaching. And one last time. Reaching. Beautiful. Now we'll come through center and see if you can just go ahead and come to a seated position. So just crossing your legs. We'll place our right hand on our left knee and then bring the left fingertips to the shoulder and just kind of pull yourself into a twist as you roll the left elbow. So you're just getting into the rotator cuff here a little bit. Perfect. And we'll switch directions there as well. Just getting in there. Perfect. And then we can come up to center and slowly switch, left hand pulling to the right knee, right fingertips on your shoulders. And here we go, making those circles. Exaggerate the circles with your elbow. Feel it in the shoulder blade as well. And switch out that direction. Nicely done. All right, and then we'll come to center and just kind of do any little movement that feels good, rolling the shoulders, enjoying that. Perfect. Now we're going to go onto our backs. If you have the blocks, you can stack them. If not, you can just roll to your back. But if we're stacking the blocks, we're going to have the smaller edge, the shortest edge down as the T, and then the top of the T is going to be the middle edge. So it's kind of like the top of the T and the bottom of the T, the smaller and middle, if that makes sense. So we'll just go ahead and bring our sacrum behind, in line with the T, and we're going to roll ourselves down. See if you can bring the first block kind of to rest in between the shoulder blades. And then the middle block is going to be for your head to kind of just rest on there. And then we'll go ahead and slide our heels up towards the glutes. Now, don't worry if you're not on your blocks. That's absolutely fine. You're still going to feel it in the shoulders. So we'll go ahead and bring the heels into the glutes. And now we're just going to send the right hand overhead and the left hand alongside your hips. And we're just going to scissor. So just scissor up and down just a couple times. We're just getting into the shoulder blades and the rotator cuffs here. Perfect. One last time, even yourself out. And then we'll bring both hands overhead. The palms come together. And then we'll just chop our hands down in between the legs and then lift them up behind you, going as far as you can. Shimmy the block to make sure that it's not blocking you at all. But take a couple more of these little chopping motions, getting into the shoulder blades here. You should be feeling a little bit of a massage as well. Perfect. Now we'll come to stillness up at the sky, and then just bring our arms out. We're going to do angel wings. So you're at cactus arms, and you're just going to move your hands in like you're making an angel in the snow. So again, you're just kind of massaging your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Take a couple more goes. And then go ahead and just bring your hands out long into a T, and just kind of allow the block to open up your chest just a little bit. And if you're not on the block, that's okay too. Your chest is nice and opened. So just take one last breath here. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and bring our hands up and forward and see if you're able to use your core to lift yourself all the way up, back up. Perfect. Move in the shoulders if you need to, and moving your blocks away. All right, let's get into our tabletop position now. We're done with all that craziness. So let's stack our knees and hips and our wrists and our shoulders, and we'll just make a few movements here that feel good. So move your shoulders and your hips in any way that feels nice for your spine. But also, again, we're focused on our shoulders. So see what feels good for the shoulders. Maybe sink into the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades back, and then push the mat away, squeezing the shoulder blades apart. So kind of see what feels good when you move your body that moves the shoulder blades. Perfect. We'll take two last breaths here. And then we'll come to our neutral spine here. And we're going to move into our puppy pose, Anahatasana. So start to walk your hands forward, bringing your chest down, but the tailbone sticks up to the sky. And we want to see if the hips can stay aligned with the knees as well. So your chin can come down to the ground, or maybe it's your forehead. But just kind of inch those fingers forward as you pull the hips back, pushing your chest down towards the ground. Called melting hearts. Anahatasana. Feel it in the shoulders, in the deltoids. Perfect. Last breath here. And then we'll slowly start to push into the mat as we come back to our tabletop position, and then just sink your hips back into your child's pose. So pulling the hips back as you inch the fingers forward. Perfect. Now, if you want to get into the chest even more, you can tent your fingers up on the tippy toes of your fingertips and just push the chest down even more. That'll give you a little bit more of a chest opener here. Breathing deeply into your shoulders, into the back of your body. All right, we'll take one last breath. And then we'll move into our downward facing dog. So plant your palms down flat on the mat and spread your fingers as wide as you can. Take the slowest movements into your downward dog. And enjoy every little twitch of every little muscle as you pull your hips up. And then start to feel out that downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet. And again, your chest should be a little bit open. Now really push your chest down towards your mat as you lift your hips up to the sky. Tucking the chin. So whenever you're ready, you can settle down into that downward dog. If you want to really focus on your shoulders in the downward dog, see if you can push your mat away from you, almost like you were going to push yourself right out of your armpits. So you're lengthening the arms nicely, and then pivot your armpits to face inwards towards your ears so that your back broadens and you're pushing your chest down to the ground. So you really should feel intense sensations in the shoulder blades and the shoulders. Perfect. On our inhale, we're going to come up to our tippy toes. And on our exhale, we're just going to slide ourselves forward into the plank pose. So use your core to bring your shoulders forward, sink your hips down, and you're in that plank pose. Beautiful. Keep pushing the mat away so that your shoulders are super activated. Now see, just for 2 breaths, if you can push your shoulders forward so that you're barely on your big toes, you're stretching your wrists as well, and then push your heels back and just kind of rock back and forth here, strengthening those wrists as well. Perfect. All right, then we'll come to stillness in the center, and we'll come down to our knees. Bend your elbows tight into your ribs so that your whole body comes down. Untuck your toes and inhale to your back bend, pushing your shoulders back and your chest forward. And then exhale, tuck your chin, move through tabletop, and come back to that downward facing dog. Nice job, guys. Let's give our wrists a break. Let's go to dolphin. So we'll come down onto our elbows, and we'll keep pushing our tailbone up as we push our chest down. So it's just a different feeling in the shoulder blades here. So you're on your elbows in your dolphin pose. Perfect. Nice slow breaths. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to come back to our downward facing dog. So you can do it straightening one arm at a time, or maybe you push into the mat, into your palms, and lift both of your elbows up at the same time. Perfect. All right, let's inhale our right heel up towards the sky in our 3-legged downward dog. And we'll exhale, let the spine ripple forward as we bring the right knee into your chest. Keep pushing your mat away. Keep your shoulders activated. And then we'll step the right foot forward. Left knee comes down, untuck the toe and rise into your Anjaneyasana, that crescent pose. Perfect. Sink forward into that right knee to get the stretch in your psoas. Perfect. Now again, let's bring our fingertips together, or clasp our fingers and push the palms up to the sky again, pushing your biceps back past your ears. Beautiful. And then we'll exhale our hands down and see if we can clasp the fingers behind the back this time, straightening out the elbows and then lifting the hands away from your glutes to open up the chest even more. Beautiful. Lift that sternum up. All right, take one last inhale. And then we'll exhale, slowly let go of your fingers and frame your right foot. And let's send our hips back to get into the hamstrings, straightening out the right leg and flexing into your right foot. Perfect. Keep pulling the left hip towards your right big toe and your right hip back towards the back. Sternum drives towards the right big toe as well. All right, let's go ahead and exhale, bending into the right knee. Tuck the left toes and lift the left knee. Let's step back to plank. Get that strong plank, drive those heels back. And then on our exhale, maybe you want to try your chaturanga. So push your shoulders forward so that you're barely on the big toes, and then start to bend your elbows to create a ledge for your ribs to sit on. And then our inhale pulls the chest forward and up. Push those shoulders back. Exhale, move to your downward dog, however you'd like to get there. Perfect. All right, let's do that on the other side. Inhale, left heel up to the sky. Keep driving it up, right heel down. Exhale, can you use your core to bring left knee to chest? Shoulders pull forward. Push that mat away. Plant your left foot, right knee, and rise to that Anjaneyasana, sinking into the left knee this time. Perfect. Really get into the right psoas. Let's interlace our fingers again and push the palms up to the sky, pushing the biceps behind you, back, back, back. Big inhale. And then on our exhale, we'll bring the hands down, back behind you, interlace those fingers again, straighten out your elbows and lift the hands away from your glutes to really open up the chest. Nice. Lift that sternum. Pull the knuckles back as you pull your sternum forward like there were strings attached, pulling in opposite directions. Big inhale through the nose, and we'll exhale, unclasp the fingers, frame the left foot, send the hips back, straightening left leg, and flexing into the foot. Perfect. Get that hamstring stretch. Driving the sternum towards your left big toe. All right, last breath. And we'll go ahead and bend into our left knee, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, step yourself back to plank. If you want to work on that chaturanga, push your shoulders forward, bend your elbows, create that ledge. Inhale, chest forward and up, shoulders back. Exhale, push your mat away as you lift your hips, and you're in your downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Remember to focus on those shoulder blades and on those rotator cuffs. All right, let's inhale up to the tippy toes and slowly walk your feet up to your hands in your forward fold. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders, and more importantly, relaxing your shoulders. So you can find those creases of your elbows so that you can cross your arms, and then just kind of sway yourself, enjoy gravity stretching out your shoulders. Maybe weight goes into your toes, into your heels. Any way that you like to enjoy your forward fold, go ahead. And then we'll go ahead and settle into the forward fold. So really start to see how straight your legs want to go. You can even hold behind your calves to pull them in. Pull your body in tighter. And then we'll bring our left hand down in front of our face and float the right fingertips up to the sky, maybe even bending into the right knee. Enjoy that. And then send your hand forward and down. Replace your left hand with your right and twist the left hand up to the sky. Maybe bending the left knee as well. And then we'll go ahead and bring that hand forward and back down into the forward fold. Perfect. Let's slowly rise up, bending into the knees, tucking your chin, letting your hands dangle as you slowly stack the vertebra one at a time. Chin is tucked so that your head is the very, very last to rise into your mountain pose. Perfect. Take a moment to establish yourself in that mountain pose. Feeling nice and rooted. Beautiful. Into your feet. Let your legs be strong. Let your pelvis feel heavy in the back, like there was a bell dangling from your pelvis. Perfect. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and down towards the small of your back as your sternum lifts up. Perfect. Let's do 2 of our Surya Namaskar A and then 1 of B. We'll inhale, lengthen your hands up to the sky. Bring your palms together. Now let's bend at the elbows and touch the back of your heart. So you're just getting the tricep stretch. And then we'll inhale, lift the hands up to the sky. Look between your joined palms. Exhale, swan dive down. Lead with your chest forward fold. Inhale to the half lift. Chest is forward. Again, feel your shoulder blades slide down your back. Plank pose, step it back. Chaturanga, bend those elbows. We'll inhale to the upward facing dog. And we'll exhale to our downward facing dog. Taking our 5 breaths in that downward facing dog. Nice slow breaths. Don't forget to go through your checklist, and don't forget to make your checklist focus on your chest and shoulders. Last breath here. And on your exhale, let's bring our feet to the top of the mat, however you want to get them there. We'll inhale to the half lift. Chest is forward. Exhale, fold forward into your forward fold. Inhale, root and rise. Reverse swan dive. Lengthen. And exhale back to your Tadasana. Perfect. Let's go again a little faster. Inhale, lengthen. This time, bend your elbows, touch the back of your heart, stretching out the triceps. And then inhale, hands back up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale to your half lift. Focus on those shoulders. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Push those shoulders back. Exhale. You're in your downward facing dog. Taking those 5 breaths. Pushing down your chest. Pushing the mat away from you. Like you're gonna push yourself out of your armpits. Rotate those armpits inwards to face the ears. And push the chest down. Beautiful. Take a last breath. Exhale, feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, root and reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, Samastiti, Tadasana, your mountain pose. All right, let's do a little bit of Surya Namaskar B. We'll inhale to the chair pose, bend those knees, sink the hips down. Again, that bell is hanging off of the back of your pelvis, so it's heavy, but your fingers are pulling up to the sky. Big inhale through your nose, belly expands. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, Sanchalanasana, plank pose. Bend those elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale our right heel up towards the sky. We'll exhale, right knee to chest. Plant that right foot, plant left heel, and rise to your Virabhadrasana. Still, we lengthen our fingertips up towards the sky and see if you can push your arms back, more back than they're used to. Perfect. Bring the gaze up. We'll take an inhale through the nose, belly expands. Exhale, Vinyasa, frame right foot, step it back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale to the back bend. Exhale, push your mat away to the downward dog. We'll inhale our left heel up to the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest. Use that core. Plant left foot, plant right heel. Rise, Virabhadrasana A. Pull those arms back behind your ears. Lengthen. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale yourself back to plank. Bend those elbows. Inhale to your upward dog. And exhale to your downward dog. We'll take our 5 breaths here. Enjoying your downward dog however you'd like. Slowing the breath down. Nice job. Last breath. And let's exhale our feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale to your forward fold. We'll inhale to the chair pose. Sink those hips down. Lift the fingers. Reach. Feel your shoulder blades rotating down and then forward even. And exhale. You're in your Tadasana. Super strong. Do a nice little flow now that also works on our strengthening our shoulders. So let's come back to Tadasana. Nice and strong, pushing the heart forward and the shoulders back, heavy in the pelvis. We'll inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bring your heart, touch your heart in the back there, getting into the triceps. Perfect. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, you're in your half lift. Exhale, you're in your plank pose. Chaturanga. Inhale to your upward dog. Exhale, you're in your downward facing dog. Let's inhale our right heel up to the sky. And we'll open up our hips. Right hip stacks on top of left, bending into the right knee. And again, push your left shoulder down. See if you can get a stretch in the left shoulder. Perfect. All right, let's square our hips back up. Inhale, right leg out long. Exhale, right knee to chest. Plant your right foot and rise to your crescent pose, your high lunge. So keep that back heel lifted and the back toes facing forward. Perfect, nice and strong in your high lunge. Again, play with your pelvis to feel the stretch in the left psoas. Let's inhale, lengthen our fingers to the sky. And on our exhale, we'll bend into our elbows, cactus arms. Squeeze those shoulder blades down. Inhale, lift the fingers. Let's do that again. Exhale, paint the back of your room with your elbows, really squeezing, lifting the chest. Last time, inhale. Exhale, squeeze those elbows down. All right, inhale them back up. This time we exhale to the warrior two. Left heel plants down and arms come down parallel. Beautiful. Now this time, really activate your shoulders, almost like you were pulling your arms down and they were resisting water. Create that resistance, like you're pushing your shoulders down, resisting water with your hands. See if you can get that feeling. Beautiful. Take a breath. All right, now let's bring our palms together in front of us. Interlace the fingers. Push those palms away from you, stretching out the shoulder blades. We're still in our warrior two. Then let's lift our palms up to the sky. Now, very slowly, let's reverse the warrior, keeping our arms just like this. So just lean back to the left, opening up the right side. Beautiful. Take a couple more breaths. Now bend at your elbows and clasp opposite elbows with opposite hands. Perfect. So it's just a different way of stretching out the shoulders there. Nice big inhale. And then slowly exhale back to your warrior two. Arms come parallel. Now let's go ahead and do the humble warrior. So send your arms behind you, interlacing your fingers, straightening out the arms, lifting your knuckles away from your glutes, and then start to fold forward so that your right shoulder comes to the inside of your right knee. Tuck your chin so that your crown of the head points down to the ground, and keep pulling your knuckles away from the body, almost like they were going to touch down on the ground in front of you. Perfect. Last breath here. Or a couple more breaths. Now here's a tricky part here. We're going to start to rise. Keep your hands the way they are until your spine is parallel to your mat. Now let's see if we can keep our arms and push ourselves up into warrior 3 with our arms like this. So maybe you shorten your stance, but see if you can float that left leg up, straightening into the right leg with your interlaced fingertips up towards the sky. Left hip drops down as the right hip pulls up, and keep pushing those knuckles forward in front of you. Take a last breath. And then slowly unclasp your hands and bring your arms to airplane arms. Perfect. Take a breath in the airplane arms and then send the hands forward, lengthening them forward. Now we're just going to take 3 breaths. I know your right leg is on fire, but let's bring the right hand back. Left hand is forward. And then let's move like a marching band 2 more times. So bring the left hand back, right hand forward, squeeze it up. Last time, left hand forward, right hand back. Nice job. Now let's start to lift our torso up, bringing our palms together at our heart. Left knee comes to chest. Now let's move into the eagle chair. Left knee goes over right knee, find your bind. And then left elbow goes on top of right elbow. Find your bind there. Now we lift our fingers up towards the sky and push your wrists away from your face to get the stretch here, the counter stretch. Sink deeper if you've got it in you. Find 2 last breaths. All right, now let's slowly unravel into our warrior 3 with airplane arms. So left leg goes out long and arms go out long. Squeeze the shoulder blades together like your backs of your hands. We're gonna clap behind you. Now how slowly can you bring the arms down and forward as you float the left foot down into your high lunge, your crescent. Nicely done, guys. That was tough. Lift Vinyasa, we'll take an inhale and we'll exhale to float the hands down, framing the right foot, step it back to plank, and those elbows to lower. Inhale to your upward, and exhale to your downward dog. Let's take a couple breaths. If you want to go to child's pose to give yourself a break before we do the other side, go for it. Otherwise, we're just taking a couple more breaths here. Perfect. Let's all meet back in downward facing dog. And on our inhale, we'll float our left heel up towards the sky, 3-legged downward dog. Let's open up the hip, stacking left hip on top of right. Now again, push the right shoulder down to get that stretch. Right shoulder pushes down as left hip stacks on top of right. And let's square our hips back up. Inhale the left leg out long. Exhale, left knee to chest. And come to your high lunge, to your crescent pose. Right toes face forward. And you're pushing down onto the right hip. Perfect. Let's finish up with this other side. We'll take a big inhale, lengthen through the fingers. And let's take 3 breaths. Exhale, bend those elbows. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slow movements. Lift the sternum. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bend those elbows. Inhale, lengthen. Last time. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lengthen tall. It's time we exhale to the warrior 2. Right heel pulls down, open up. Arms are parallel to your mat. Again, imagine your arms were floating on the surface of some honey or some water, and you're pushing down with your shoulder blades. Really strengthen them up. Take those deep breaths. All right, let's bring our palms together in front of us. Interlace those fingers. Push the palms away from you. You can even tuck the chin. You should feel the stretch in your shoulder blades here. Perfect. Now lift those palms up to the sky. Keep pushing the shoulder blades back. And let's reverse the warrior. leaning over to the right to open up the left side. Beautiful. Take a couple breaths. Don't lose that bend in your left knee. All right, super slow movements here. Let's bend into the elbows, clasping opposite elbows with opposite palms, and keep pushing the elbows back so you're getting a different stretch into your shoulders. Last breath here. And super slowly, let's make our way back to our warrior two. Arms come down. And we will go ahead to our humble warrior. Arms go behind you, interlace those fingers, straighten out the arms, lift them away from your body, and fold yourself forward, leading with the chest, left shoulder inside of left knee, tuck that chin so that your crown of the head points down on the floor. Take your couple breaths in your humble warrior. All right, here's that tricky part. Let's leave our arms where they are and start to lift the spine so that you're kind of folded over the front knee. Again, it's easier if you shorten your stance, but let's see if we can launch our weight forward and lift the right leg up into your warrior three with your knuckles facing up to the sky. Beautiful. Right hip pulls down. Find a couple breaths. Be strong in your core. Now slowly start to unclasp the fingers and come to your airplane arms to give yourself a break. And then send the arms forward. That's the toughest part. Now for 3 breaths, we do the marching band. Let's send the right hand back, left hand is forward. And then we switch. Left hand pulls back, right hand pulls forward. Last time, left hand forward, right hand back. And let's go ahead and slowly start to lift the torso, bringing the palms together. Right knee comes into chest. And we'll come down to our eagle chair. Wrap that right knee over the left. Find your bind with your legs. Right elbow comes on top of left. And find your bind there as well. We sink deep. And we lift our fingers as tall as we can get them. And push our fingers away from our face as much as we can, getting that stretch in the shoulder blades. Slow down the breath, breathe in and out through the nose if you can. And here we go one last time back to our warrior three. Start to unravel both arms and legs, airplane arms while the right leg is out long. Now, squeeze the shoulder blades together like you were going to clap the backs of your hands. And then exhale. Bring your hands down alongside your body and start to move to your high lunge, bringing your hands forward and up to the sky. Nicely done, guys. Let's inhale and vinyasa. Exhale back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale to your upward facing dog. Exhale, and you're in your last downward facing dog. Take your 5 breaths and really make it an A+ downward facing dog. Slow the breath down. See if you can inhale and exhale through your nose. Last breath here. And we'll inhale up to our tippy toes. Exhale, how slowly can you bend your knees down towards the mat as you sink your hips back. So push your mat away from you with your palms and let your knees hover a couple inches off of your mat. And then you can move your knees from side to side if that feels okay. And then eventually touching down onto your knees and untucking your toes to sink back into your child's pose. And choosing whichever child's pose you like here. It might be nice to bring your prayer hands behind your neck That might feel a little nice into the triceps as well. Slow down your breath wherever you're at. All right, and we'll take one last breath here. And then we'll slowly lower our hands. And now we're just going to bring ourselves down onto our belly. So just move yourself forward however feels good into the prone position. Perfect. We're going to do one last little chest opener, and then we will stretch out our shoulders. So it's called Sharpangasana. You can bring your chin to face forward and bring your hands behind your back. Then last time, we'll interlace the fingers, straighten out the arms, lift the hands away from your body, squeeze, zip your big toes together, and on our inhale, let's lift the chest up, pushing the pelvis into the mat and pulling your knuckles towards your heels. So you're pulling them back and then up as well. Sharpangasana, the snake pose. Take a couple breaths, really opening up here. Last breath, go as high as you can. And exhale, slowly, slowly lower yourself down. Unclasp. You can stack your palms on top of each other and just rest one of your cheeks down on your stacked palms, just kind of relaxing here. Slowing everything down. Beautiful. Breathing in and out through your nose, that nice soft breath. And now it's the top of your body that's pressing into the mat and the back of your body expanding up towards the sky. All right, so our final little stretch is just going to be for the shoulders. I hope you guys can see, but let's go ahead and send our arms out to a T. So you're outstretched your arms to a T. We'll go ahead and bring our right cheek down onto the mat and bend our left elbow so that our palm is in the push-up position. So your palm's in that push-up position, right cheek is down. Bend into your left knee so that your left heel comes towards your glutes. And now just push into your left palm and stack the left side of your body on top of the right shoulder. You can even bring the left sole of the foot down behind your right knee. So you should be feeling a stretch in the right shoulder. You can relax your head if that feels good, or if you've got your block, you can place your head on your block. And then if you want, you can bring your left fingertips up to the sky and then maybe even behind your back, either bending at the elbow, or maybe you try to find your right fingertips to open things up. So just take a couple breaths here, moving your hips to see if that intensifies your stretch at all. All right, take 2 last breaths. And then super slowly bring your left palm back into that push-up position and slowly guide the left side of your body down onto the ground. And send your arms back out to a T with your left cheek leaning on your mat now. Perfect. We'll bend into the right elbow, bringing your right hand into that push-up position. Bend into the right knee so that the right heel comes towards the right glute. And just push into your right palm as you stack your body, the right side of your body on top of the left. Perfect. Again, maybe you float your right fingertips up to the sky. Maybe you bend into the right elbow behind you, or maybe even straighten out the right arm to find the left fingers. Slowing down your breath nicely. Beautiful. Find 2 last breaths here. And then we'll slowly, slowly float the right hand back up if it was down. Bring it back to the push-up position and slowly allow your right side of your body to come down onto your mat. Perfect. Let's bring both palms underneath the shoulders and slowly move yourself back into your child's pose again. So slowly allow the spine to move back. And maybe this time you give yourself a rest by bringing your hands behind you towards your heels to let your shoulders just kind of relax for a moment. You've been working them out like crazy. Slowing that breath. Great, let's just take one last breath, and whenever you feel ready, we'll slowly bring ourselves up to sit in our hero pose again. Beautiful, sinking the hips back onto the heels, and maybe just rolling into the shoulders a couple times if it feels good. Anything that feels good, moving the shoulders back and forth. Anything that feels nice for you. And when you're ready, we'll just shimmy our hips over to one side and send our legs long in front of us. And then we'll slowly start to roll ourselves down onto our mat. So bring those fingers forward and slowly roll the spine down, vertebra by vertebra, touching everything down and floating your palms down onto the mat. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and slide our heels up towards our glutes. And then we'll just send our legs up towards the sky in Viparita Karani. So the toes come up towards the sky. Perfect. Now, if you have your shoulder stand in your practice, you can go ahead and move into the shoulder stand, pushing into the palms to lift the hips, and then bending at the elbows to rest your hips on top of the elbows. Definitely, you don't want to move your neck at all here. So don't try to look at the camera at all. Just look up towards your toes and enjoy your shoulder stand, or enjoy your legs up towards the sky with your hips down. It's up to you entirely. So just enjoy whatever version you like. And of course, if you're in your shoulder stand, you can move to your plow pose if that feels good. Lowering your feet down behind you. See what feels good. Beautiful. Let's take 3 last breaths and use our breath to move out of the posture until we're all in our Viparita Karani. So slowly, slowly using your breath, moving out of your posture, nice and slow, no rush. And we all meet back up in our Viparita Karani. Now allow your legs to float all the way down. Use your core even to let the legs float all the way down. And we'll move into a version of the fish pose. So I've got 2 versions to show you. You can lift yourself up and lean back on your elbows like you're lying at the beach. And then just allow your head to drift down, opening up your throat nicely. Or else you can move into your full fish by lifting up the hips and stacking the palms underneath your pelvis and squeezing the elbows as tight as you can get them together. And then bending at the elbows to lift the chest while the crown of your head pulls down to the ground. So choose your version and enjoy 3 breaths. Opening up the chest, counter posture for your shoulder stand. All right, and super slowly start to lift your head as you lower yourself down and shimmy your hands away from your pelvis if they were there. And we'll finish up with our windshield wipers. So slide those heels up towards your glutes and wide at the edges of your mat. Send your arms out to a T or in your cactus arms, and just windshield wipe your knees over to one side and through center to the other side. Just kind of allowing your body to reset. And with your last 5 or 6 breaths here, you can move into whatever posture feels good for you. So maybe it's a little twist. Maybe you like your twist. Maybe you like your happy baby. Maybe you just want to send your arms overhead. But do whatever you'd like for your last 5 breaths. Beautiful. And slowly taking your last couple of breaths to journey to using any version to listen to your body, see what it's asking of you, and allow it. But gently to close our eyes and start journey back to that peaceful place that we were at in the beginning of class. See if you're able to keep that slow, steady breath in through your nose, out through your nose. Enjoy the sensations of your body absorbing your practice. And enjoy your Shavasana for just a few moments. And slowly and gently, we'll invite that deeper breath, starting to expand our awareness. And gently, gently waking up your body with some very subtle movements. And whenever you feel ready, You can start to bend into your knees and roll over onto any side that feels good. Resting your head in your bicep. We'll give ourselves one last nice deep breath here. And then when you're ready, you can press yourself up into your seated position. With your palms resting on your knees. And we'll bring our palms together at our heart in our Anjali Mudra. Gently bow our heads. Flickering your eyes open to adjust to the light. Thank you guys so much for sharing your practice with me like this. Namaste.
Thank you.